starts now.
Many listeners of this podcast know I'm a fan of the XFL. I'm also a fan of the CFL. That's why I was a little more than interested when I learned of the news of official talks between the two leagues to explore partnership possibilities. While early in the process, it's fun to consider what might evolve in 2022. I think most will agree that nothing less than something bold will suffice. The CFL went begging cap in hand to various departments of the federal government last year, all to no avail. Let's hope they're not doing the same with the XFL, namely seeing it as a source of no strings attached revenue. Let's talk about a complete merger. A North and South Division, the XFL and CXFL, the North American Extreme Football League, who knows? If this works, there's far more potential. The CFL needs something bold, some way to grow. The league must evolve to survive. Simple as that. I recall a commentary a few years ago by the late and very great Chris Schultz, former NFL and CFL offensive lineman, while sitting as a panelist at the desk of Canada's TSN Sports Network. He emphatically pointed out that while the CFL and its more or less 9 teams may have worked more or less in the past, the league needs to grow. It needs more teams that people want to watch if survival is part of the business plan. And that will mean some change. Opinions are already tilting toward moving the game to 4 downs. Is that such a bad thing? This issue exemplifies the question: what is critical to retain should the CFL merge with an American league? If you were sitting at the table, what is your deal breaker? You only get one, so which one? The size of the field, the rouge, the number of players on each line? All of these things are up for discussion. For me, to put it simply, the CFL offers football fans an opportunity to watch the game from June through to late autumn. The season has been adjusted several times over the past century or so, but if nothing else were negotiable, the summer aspect of the CFL is something I would be pressing for. The XFL positioned itself as not competing with the NFL, not getting in the way, starting mid-February and running to mid-spring. I would almost suggest that a combined league start in early to mid-March, winding up the season with a championship game possibly in late September to early October. Minimal overlap with the NFL, retaining the spring aspect of the XFL, retaining the summer aspect of the CFL. March should be as doable in terms of field action in Canadian cities as is a late November game. I think the reality is looking at an American-sized field, 4 downs, 1 fewer player on each side. But some unique aspects of the game could easily fuel their way into an American XFL viewer market. The Rouge, for example, plus a host of new innovations that haven't yet been tried by either league, creating something new and bigger than each. It's not the first time that an American-based league has had Canadian host cities. The Continental League had 3 Canadian teams. The World League of American Football had a team based in Montreal. And that only touches on the game of professional football. Of course, the CFL has its experience in expanding into U.S. markets. Many commentators in Canada snidely label the early 90s expansion of the CFL into the USA as a failure. Couldn't be further from the truth. The legacy is a generation of talent, many of which have become legendary and iconic for Canadians and fans of Canadian football. The only failure would have been not trying. The point here is that 2 organizations recognize the need to grow. As in any marriage, there will be compromises. There has to be. The current discussions offer an opportunity for fans, players, and personnel alike to prioritize what they deem critical to evolving, and what is essential to make the process worthwhile. Like it or not, this may be the best opportunity for the CFL in a generation. Make no mistake, these talks between the 2 leagues offer hope of survival for the CFL, even if that means evolving into something a little different. Visit stephenchristiansen.ca for more episodes. This podcast is available on all streaming platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Amazon, Apple, and Verbal. I'm Stephen Christiansen. Thanks for listening.
production of Steven Christensen. Podcast complete.